Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Angel of Words podcast. I am your host, Angel of Words, and I want to dedicate this episode to my sister Sadi and all my peoples in the LGBTQ community, that if it wasn't for them and their support, you know, through these some of the hard difficulties that I've had in my life, you know, I would probably never be where I'm at today. So thank you, and everyone, don't forget to subscribe, punch on that notification bell, share these messages. It's important. Also, you could follow us on all podcast platforms for our exclusive content and the Angel of Words blog. Check out www.aowent.com, and if you want to leave a donation, it is Cash App AOWNYC. Now on deck on the Angel of Words podcast. This is the LGBTQ special with our guest, Mr. Antonio Santana. Mr. Santana.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me today,
You're
man.
welcome. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you, man. Thank you for being here, Mr. Santana. You know, we met in a weird place.
Briefly.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We fell in love in a hopeless place.
We sure did.
You know,
you came through at the right time.
Oh, man, definitely. And, you know, we had real conversation, and I was glad that, you know, you were able to take the time out today to speak to us, you know, on this, you know, beautiful Pride Week. And, you know, we want to share stories. This is where your stories are heard. But, you know, one of the things that, you know, that why I brought you here is because there's a lot of fear in the straight community.
Facts.
You know, there's a lot of fear in the straight community, a community that I'm a part of. And, you know, the fear comes from, I think, from media. I feel like they're scared that all this media attention and all the storylines and all these incredible shows is going to make the whole world gay, and it's going to stop procreation, or part of the LGBTQ community, and it's going to stop procreation. And not only that, it's going to, you know, it's going to change the face of the United States of America, which I don't feel is true, you know. And one of the things in the straight community is that I feel like they feel like, you know, they're out of touch. They don't know what's going on. You know, I feel like it's more of a struggle that this community has faced more than them trying to overpower, you know, their lifestyle into our lives through media. So, I mean, I just want to get your thoughts on that.
See, for me, it's not so much about media. For me, it's much about their upbringing.
Gotcha.
And what they were taught at a very young age.
Okay.
You know, for example, in the Hispanic community, you have machismo.
Yeah.
For example, I was raised with two other brothers. My father was the most machismo, and now look what happened.
Yeah.
He had a son who was as flamboyant could be, wearing cha-cha heels and roaming around in dresses.
Okay.
And it did take him some time to evolve and accept me. But one thing I was very proud of my father, that he never belittled me. He never hid me like my older brother did.
Gotcha.
What affected me as much as a homosexual and, you know, people in the community is that when your own blood and your own relatives don't accept you and they're embarrassed of you and they hide you, that affects you tremendously in so many ways. Yeah, I agree with you. For some heterosexuals, you know, it's a lot in their faces.
Yeah.
But then you need to understand, back in the days when social media wasn't involved, like, you had to go, for example, for me to feel comfortable in my skin and for me to see a reflection of myself in my community, like, I had to go to balls, I had to go to underground parties, I had to go to after hours. You know, I had to go to some crazy, dingy places. But it was the places that I felt welcome and places that I got to see my reflection. Whereas now with social media, you do see people more like you on commercials, on TV shows. It is a little exaggerated, to my opinion.
Okay.
But I think it's a good move. It's a good movement going forward.
Okay.
Like, you know, like 2 weeks ago, I went to go see The Heights.
Oh, man.
No. Wait. Let me get to this.
Go ahead.
I get it.
Yeah.
But baby, like, do your homework when you go see a movie.
Yes.
Literally 10 people walked out the movie theater. I didn't think they thought it was supposed to be a musical. Like, they did not think. So They were Hispanics, you know what I'm saying? So I think they thought it was like a Fast and the Furious kind of situation.
Yeah.
They did not know it was a musical. So then as soon as it started, not even 10 minutes into the movie, they was just walking out like roaches.
Wow.
But it's like, how come
And where was this theater at?
It was, we went to the one on Times Square.
Okay.
But it was a Tuesday.
Okay.
You know, girl, I'm on a budget, so $16.
That matinee is serious,
$16,
bro.
no joke. But it's like, and I went at the latest time frame.
Yeah.
We went, me and my friend Hector went like it was at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
But it was just like, how can we move forward if and let's say in our community, we don't even help each other to move forward?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what I do feel that what social media is bringing right now, it's like, you know, it's helping, you know, kids who live in the middle of nowhere to be like, okay, I'm not the oddball. Like, you know, I was lucky growing up. You know, I'm originally a bridge and tunnel from Jersey, from Elizabeth. So for me,
really, you're from Elizabeth?
Yeah,
God, I have mad family out
so
there.
So for me,
shout out to Elizabeth, New Jersey. You know?
Okay. So for me, it was easy to jump on the train and then come into the city.
Yeah,
knocking on wood, honey.
Yeah.
I was lucky.
Yeah.
I was lucky that my coming out, my involvement in the community was in New York City. But in my story was like it's different from what this young generation, like back then, like, you know, you would have like your gay parents who would take you under the wing, would show you the rope, would give you the lingo of the nightlife of how to do this, do that, and it actually opened my eyes.
Wow.
But I had that luck. But imagine being in the middle of nowhere in the Midwest.
That's horrible.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Like I hear some of these kids' stories and it's horrible. Now what really breaks my heart, it's like, how can you be a parent and then if you find out your child is gay or lesbian or whatever the situation is, you kick them out? I had a friend of mine, he had a semester to graduate from college and he was Jamaican. And his parents found out that he was gay. They cut him completely. I found him, I had a 7 o'clock morning class and I literally found him in the parking lot.
Oh my
He
God.
would go, I went to Johnson Wales University. He would go into the gym where he was a member. He kept that membership just to shower. Then he would just change in the parking lot and then go to class.
Wow.
Like, who does that?
How does that make you feel, man?
I mean, but then again, I was lucky. Like, my dad, as my cheese hombre he was, my dad never did that. My dad made sure, like, me and my other brothers were taken care of. Like, he held it down. Was he the best father? That's a different subject. But
we're not here to talk about that.
But he took care of his responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? And my dad, like, if anything, like, my dad was so proud that, you know, me and my older brother, you know, we were the first generation of graduating from going to college and graduating.
I mean, you went to a great college, not for nothing. Johnson & Wales ain't no BS,
Honey, I'm still
man.
playing that debt.
Yeah, I know.
Let me tell you. I'm still playing that debt.
Wow.
Still paying that debt.
You know, and another stigma, you know, in the heterosexual community is like, and things that we always, a question that we always talk about is whether you're born gay or you become gay. And my thing is always like, what does it matter? Like, just deal with the situation at hand. I've never been a nostalgic person to begin with. I always deal with the moment and the future. I never try to change the past. However, that's a lot of, you know, they think about that a lot. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, for example, I had the pleasure when I lived in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I used to work at a bathhouse.
Okay.
So basically, a bathhouse is where men would pay a one-time fee and they would walk around with a towel around their waist. Now, you'd be surprised. I had priests, because in their driver's license, it says, father such and such, priest such and such. I've met lawyers, I've met DAs, I've met substantial people in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And it's sad because, okay, these are men that you looked at them, you couldn't tell they were gay.
Yeah.
But they were living a double life. They would have to go to a shithole in a wall to be with their true love or their partner of like 20 years. Sometimes they would even go there to have sex or to mess around. They would just go there, just for example, to talk to the gay employees, hang out with us, you know, wanting to know what's going on. And then they had to go back to their wife and kids.
Wow, so it's like more
So
of a
it's
social
okay. So
experience.
like exactly, not even because you know what, for me it wasn't such a social experience.
No, for them I'm saying.
For them, not
Yeah.
really, because it was only a place that they were able to be themselves.
Wow.
Honestly. And some of them were in relationships with their partners of like 10 to 15 years or longer.
Wow. And it's hard living in darkness, man. I don't like to do that now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, how does that make you feel, man?
For me, honestly, 100% is like, don't lie to. I've had girlfriends that been lied to of their partner who were double. I have girlfriends who are in open relationships with their boyfriends. I have girlfriends that know that their significant other was bilingual or dated trannies. You know what I'm saying? But like, don't lie to people and lead them on and then they don't know, because back in the days, especially in the 90s, you had a lot of problem with people being HIV positive and AIDS because they were lied to and they had no clue what the significant others were doing.
Wow.
But you don't see that a lot nowadays. The only thing you see now is the stigma of like people living with HIV and AIDS. It needs to be worked on. You know what I'm saying? Because you do see the ignorance still, and you still see people still push away. That's ridiculous, especially we're in this day of age.
My thing is, that fear I feel like comes from a lack of education, just from an ignorant standpoint. And unfortunately, like the stigmas, they add to that. Facilitation of the situations that we still go with when we have we have that education now, man. Like, it's so I feel like we live in a climate right now where it's okay to be yourself. So when I see these things still going on, I wonder, why does it happen? Why do you think it happens?
But we're in a climate right now that it's okay to be yourself to a certain limit, and it depends your surrounding. Me growing up, especially because I worked in hospitality, I worked in events, I worked in restaurants. I knew with certain clients, or even as a server, I knew with certain customers, I had to gay it up because they wanted dinner in the show. Whereas for me, the perfect customer for me was the businessman that would walk in, say 2 words to me, but I knew I was getting that 35% tip, and they were out the door with no drama or BS.
Wow. I worked in the restaurant industry for about 15 years in my life. Wow.
And you've seen it.
Yeah.
The
the businessman is always the best man, man.
Because complete strangers acting a goddamn fucking fool. Yeah. And you be surprised.
Yeah.
A fool. A fool. A fool.
Wow.
A
man.
fool.
Wow, man. That's crazy. Now, you brought up the fact that, when you were growing up, there was people walking around and, they weren't honest, and, the HIV situation was,
that was big.
Yeah. And it's still big now. Yeah.
Yeah, but back then in the 90s, in the early 90s, it was tough. People didn't want to touch each other. People didn't want to have sex with each other. And then, knocking on wood, I was lucky. I never got gay bashed. I never got picked on, but I was always flamboyant and gay.
Gotcha.
It was obvious what I was. I never denied what I was. Yeah, it took me time to be comfortable in my skin and accept who I was because of my upbringing and because of like I said earlier, not having, having like your older brother or having a family member that is embarrassed of you or they kind of hide you, that affects you in a major way, because it fucks with you mentally and it fucks with your identity in such a big way, because then you're trying to like earn their love and their respect, but then you see as much as you do that it's not working. So until you learn to love yourself and move on forward and you do as you please, if they come through, they come through. They don't, it is what it is.
Wow.
And we've gotten into huge fights with my older brother. I used to tell my older brother, I was like, you're an idiot. Because one thing about me, I was always surrounded by pretty women.
Yeah.
I wasn't surrounded by not the Loch Ness monsters. I was always surrounded by the right girls. You know how much he could have got? But he didn't play his cards right. He did not play his cards right with me.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
He could have had a better bond with you. You could have found him a wife. Do you like his wife? Is he married?
Another subject. No, she's nice. She's nice and all. No, she's great. They got 3 kids. Like, she goes out of her way and stuff like that. Now, if you're telling me that is he in a happy, committed relationship, that's a different subject. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But, marriage is work anyways, no matter what it is. You know what I mean?
And no matter gay, straight, whatever it is, it's a lot of communication. It's a lot of, you gotta give a little to get more. And like I always tell this to my friends, especially like my girlfriends. It's like you gotta pick your battles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't be fighting over the dumbest little stupid shit. Yeah. And don't let your insecurities get the best of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let that crazy little voice in you get the best of you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've all had friends do some crazy shit.
Yeah, definitely.
I had a girlfriend. She used to follow her boyfriend, like literally it'd be the weekends, and she'll drive around from like midnight to 3:00 in the morning following his every step.
This is
because he cheated on her one time, and the moron cheated with the one thought in the block that had a big mouth, and the thought on purposely she told the other one, and then it just got so she was just insecure, and she would just follow. And
but she didn't love herself, unfortunately. You gotta love yourself before you could be in a relationship to begin with.
Oh my God, why are you gonna be in your 20s following somebody till 3:00 in the morning?
And that, I'm glad you brought that up, because I feel that happens in all communities. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something
it's kind of different in the gay community.
Could you explain that?
Yeah,
then,
because
please?
the gay community is different. Like, especially in the, lesbians love to talk a lot of smack about the gays, but the girls, they know each other because they all been with each other. Yeah. Whereas the gays, okay, yes, promiscuity and having one night stands, but at least you know what you're getting yourself into. Yeah. For me, honestly, I'm 100%. It's like if you don't know what you're doing sexually and physically, it's a problem.
Really?
For me, it's a problem.
Really?
Like, I'm not a size queen. I'm not none of that nonsense. But for me, it's like, yo, like if you don't know how to kiss and you're a grown man, like that's a problem. And I'm not here to teach you. But the problem is that, my life experience for being how I am and being as flamboyant, I've always attracted men who were closeted, who were confused. So they needed to understand that my body is not a woman. You just can't stick it and just go at it. Like, you got to work it, then do the situation. And it was more.
I feel like that's the same way with it. Like, if you're making love to a woman the right way, that should be the way it's being done.
Well, how many women don't complain and say, "Oh, you were amazing," when they weren't amazing.
Well, that's their problem, man.
That happens a lot. Because I've been in situations that the guy was like, "Well, I never had a complaint of a female." I was like, "Because they lie to you."
Well, Antonio, I got a question, right? Now that you're on that topic, right? Because that's another thing in the straight community. If they feel like sexuality for gays is more important than actually getting to know someone and building a bond for a relationship. Is that true or false? For anecdotally, because we can't generalize for anyone, but what do you think about that?
I honestly think it depends on your upbringing and your age, where you're standing at your life. Like for me, honestly, it's been hard to meet a guy to build a foundation and have a partnership. Like, I don't need somebody to pay my bills and be my sugar daddy. Could I have had that a long time ago? Yes. But I would have to settle my dignity, myself, and bow down and be their servant. Yeah. Now, that happens a lot in the gay community.
Really? So they cooperate to that level, like servitude type of level, like that. Really?
I had white friends, especially in college, especially in Rhode Island. I dealt with a lot of ignorance. Okay. Not so much in Miami, but in Rhode Island, the ignorance that I used to deal with was this, right? I used to always get told, you're Hispanic, but you don't look Hispanic. Yeah. But when you speak Spanish, you sound Italian. And it's like, boo, it's not my fault you're ignorant and you don't have a passport and you haven't traveled. And, I don't come from an island. Yeah. Like, and for you to even automatically think, oh, what island? Or, this, and it's like, no. Like, we all come in different shades. We come from all backgrounds,
As you can see.
Exactly. Exactly. But, that was a big problem, especially with the white girls, especially with all the Nancys and the Vanessas and that was the biggest problem because they used to be like, well, how come you're not them like that? And listen, I used to get into huge arguments because it's like, you're being ignorant. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ignorant. You know what I'm saying? But then I get it because within our own community, we don't respect each other. Yeah. In the especially in the Hispanic community, in the Latino community, we have such an issue with colorism. We have such an issue with how you present yourself. We have such an issue where you were born, where you're raised. Honestly, because of my parents being from Uruguay, but it's like, I don't come from money. I come from a working class.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my parents got divorced. My mother hustled. She did what she had to do. But for my mother, it was important, you present yourself in a certain way. You know how to carry yourself. You eat properly. You know how to hold silverware. I mean, okay, you worked in the restaurant industry.
Yes.
How many businessmen have you seen that used to hold the knife like this and the fork like this and then cut like this and then eat like animals? Like they
animals,
never,
yeah.
And then cut a huge cut of meat and it's just rumbling.
Yeah,
in
no,
their
like
jaw.
carnivores, like cannibals.
Yeah.
Like really.
And then,
crazy.
wow, and you're the CEO of
Yes.
such and such?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot.
That happens a lot.
That
That happens a lot. Yeah.
A lot.
Just because you have money doesn't mean you have manners.
No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
That's a fact of life.
Not
man.
at all.
Wow.
But no, honestly, so then, I used to see the differences, how I would get treated than how my Peruvian friends would get treated, or like how my Puerto Rican friends would get treated, especially with the gringos. Oh, especially when I used to go to the frat parties and this and that. I used to see the difference. You know what I'm saying? And then I get it why within our community we put ourselves in certain categories and then we dislike each other for those fucking reasons.
Yeah.
Like, I will never forget this. I was working at a restaurant, right, when Donald Trump won presidency.
Okay.
And we had this, like, Mexican family. They used to come a lot to the restaurant. And they were, like, uppities. And they were coming from powerful position. And the guy, a Mexican, a Hispanic, was like... And he didn't say anything to me because I was a server. I was the server at the table. But to my general manager, who was white from Colorado, he was like, aren't you happy that Donald Trump won? And his broke ass fucking English.
Wow.
And I just gagged because honestly, I that's one thing. Sorry that I'm so off subject, but
No, it's all right, man.
like,
We're having a conversation. It's
like,
fine.
It really
Yeah.
bothers me when Latinos or Hispanics are Republicans, and it's like, but your mother, your great grandfather, your grandmother, they were immigrants. They immigrated here.
Yeah.
Like that really just. I gag.
Well, it's the conservative ideals. I feel like that also stems from religion and those ideals which are on par with the Republican Party. So it doesn't shock me that much. I had a lot of friends come out Trump this year, and I wasn't surprised. I mean, I just wasn't. I can't sit here and say, well, I'm surprised that they follow him. No, I mean, I can see by their upbringing. I can see by the ideals that they've been selling and the propaganda that they've been spewing to the nation as to why you would be down with that wave,
But a lot of them were trying to fit into something so desperately.
Yeah, but let me tell you something, Antonio. It's also Latinos' fault because in Latino America, and these are the facts, and I've spoke about colorism before on this podcast. Only 21% of us believe in the African diaspora and gravitate to the black cause. You know what I'm saying? In any other Latino country, so it doesn't surprise me that people are gravitating towards those ideologies. It really doesn't. It's our fault. Like they're the least black Latinos, Afro Latinos are the worst educated demographic of people on this side of the world.
But you see, and not like, for example, in Uruguay, the Afro Latinos, they're celebrated. Like during Carnival in Uruguay,
that might be the only place in Latino America. That's crazy. Because in Brazil they don't get treated well. In Argentina they don't get treated well.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? You know that. You know what time it is.
In Argentina they call me cabecita negra.
In Colombia they only like them when they're winning football games. From what I can tell, you know what I'm saying?
And if they don't win, they get killed.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. And then Puerto Rico, I mean, I feel like we do a little bit better job, but it's still not great because I grew up and I've seen households, and I spoke about this on the podcast.
But it doesn't matter where we come from. But as Hispanics, especially like when a child is born, what is the first thing that comes out of their mouth?
Si tiene pelo bueno o malo.
Oh, negrito o más blanquito.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes out.
Yeah, I know what.
Doesn't matter, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Argentina. What is the first thing that comes out of the mouth when a child is born?
The color.
The color.
I hope he's healthy. I hope he's smart.
No. And you still see it because I've seen it with the younger generation that because it's been ingrained in them from their past that the first that comes out of their mouth is tiene pelo mota, motito. And it's sad because that's still close.
Because that's so irrelevant. So we're a cause of it, man. And let me tell you something. There's no movements like there is here in America.
But look at how they gotten that poor guy for the movie In the Heights for not putting like somebody in front of.
First of all, there was no colorism in that movie. I'm sorry. Look,
okay,
the only beef I have with In the Heights is this music selection. You can't have a movie called In the. I mean, look. I mean, if you watch it, I've seen the play. I understand that that's the way it was. However, my brother, it's 2021. In the Heights. Come on, bro. We all know that's bachata merengue land, and there's no bachata merengue in the movie. That's my only issue. And if Dominicans want to get mad, I'm gonna probably jump on their bandwagon because it's true, bro. Like, I mean, but besides that,
it was catered for the white community. It wasn't so much catered for us.
I don't think so, man.
You don't think so?
No, not. It's a freaking musical. What did you expect?
Well, for me, the storyline was a little bit everywhere because I was so confused.
It was everywhere.
Because I was like, okay, I was confused in this scene, right?
Yeah.
My friend was like, Antonio, why are you always, because I always observed on the dumbest things.
Yeah.
But when the kid had the Dr. Dre earphones, I'm like, that didn't come out in 1999.
And that was the thing.
That was in 2008.
Was it a period piece? Was it not a period piece?
That's exactly where I was confused.
That was a little bit confusing.
So confused
I would agree with you there.
I was
definitely.
so confused with
definitely.
that part.
But it was so refreshing to see a movie where Latinos aren't drug dealers, they're on prostitutes. There's no messy romantic situations. There's no maltreatment of your parents or resentment for other people. It was a feel-good movie. It was a little all over the place. I'll give you that, and the musical selection I felt could have been better. A little, fix it. You know what I mean?
But I think we still got to give props. It was such a good movement because it opened the doors for other things and other opportunities. Like this whole cancel culture, like everybody nitpicks on everything. Like you gotta look beyond. Like this is the beginning of something.
Yeah.
Maybe a next writer, a next producer,
which is gonna be me. That's my. No, I'm not even joking. Like that's my plan. I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. Like I look up
I think
to
he
him.
did great.
I feel like he's the trendsetter.
Yes.
I feel like I'm gonna grab his baton and take it forward. Whenever I get to that point, whenever they finally acknowledge that I'm about this life, and I'll continue doing this until further notice. But I love him and I see what he's doing, but I feel like I could take it there because I feel like I've been in these cultures. Like I've you know what I mean? Like I've slept with different races. Like I've been ingrained and engaging in different cultures in New York, and I see what he was trying to do. But like you said, he's leading the way for other people, and hopefully people can.
But nobody writes about that. Nobody speaks about that.
Exactly.
All they do is just put but then you see all the white media. They focus on the negative. They don't focus on the positive.
No.
So it's like, how can you change it?
It doesn't get ratings, baby. I don't get ratings, bro. You know what time it is.
But I was surprised. 10 people walking out the movie theater, and I'm like, bro, what did you expect?
Well, because you just don't like musicals. They're not used to it, man. It's just something we're not used to. Since West Side Story, when's been the last Latin-based musical? Really?
No, remember that TV show with the family that was back it was like back in the 70s and the 80s.
You don't even remember the name.
It was like on CBS or Fox.
Oh God! I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about because I remember watching that on
TBS. Top of my
TBS.
head, and that's a problem, though. That's a problem. How long ago was that? And then there was that one show on Netflix with Rita Moreno, which I also don't remember the name of. I think John Leguizamo might have been in that too, like 2 or 3 series.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're talking about.
And there's a lot of good Spanish films, but I'm talking about like the bringing to life Latino culture in America. Bro, it's hard to do. And the fact that he's garnered so much attention, I'm glad. That's all I care about.
Right? That's all I care about. That's exactly what I say.
Hate it, love it, talk about it, because thank you. That's going to open the way for other people.
That's exactly what I said, because I still thought it was a great, entertaining movie. I thought it was a good movement.
It was fantastic, bro. It really was. I mean, I got to be honest. I was entertained.
Me too.
I was entertained.
That's the only thing I nitpicked was like, okay, I'm a little confused. Is it the 80s? Is this? I didn't know what time period, right?
Confusing.
Okay, that was the only thing I was like. I was just a little like, okay, don't know.
Like you don't have a cell phone.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But
then you have
Beats by
iPhone.
Dre.
Yes. And then my friend was like, Antonio, because I'm literally in the movie theater and I'm Googling, like, I'm not crazy. Like, those earphones came out in like 2000 and something, not 99. I was right. It was 2008. 2008 or 2007 when he first introduced those earphones.
Exactly, man. That wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah. So I was just like, all right, I'm just a little confused. And then you know what else got me a little confused was the part when he was with his daughter in the island. It's like, okay, how did he go from the island at the beach to like the corner street bodega? So I was like, wait, was he all this time? Did he take those kids to like Coney Island for the day? That's what I was confused on that part.
Yeah.
Like, were they in Rockaway for the day?
Yeah, like, I didn't get it. I
that
guess
transition for me was a little...
They wanted you to envision them there, but they're really on the... But honestly, I think that Latinos, especially in El Barrio and Washington Heights, you always imagine yourself there because you live here, but it's like you're there, but not really. So I guess I kind of see the vision. Maybe it wasn't executed the way it should have been, but I could see that, because you're always imagining yourself out there and you're telling a story.
I just wish just wish like he focused like for example, when I lived on 184th and I used to go to like the Dominican bakery for like my coffee, and like especially like all the ladies, they knew me. And they'd be like, ay mama, ¿qué vas a tomar? Ay, café con leche, dos azúcar, un poco de leche. Like they used to love it. Like I would go, and like especially there was this older lady, she was like, ay, vos siempre olés rico y bien vestida. But I wish he showed like that little more interaction of like what it is to live in El Barrio. Like, it's cute. Like you go to a coffee shop or your sandwich shop.
Heights, you mean?
And they know like, I don't know. I just wish it was more of that type of interaction. But I get it. There's so much you could do to fit in such a time period.
Yeah. And he repped a lot of Latinos, bro. From New York, man. You know what I mean? Dude, like, I'm sorry, you can't make everybody happy, but don't try to kill this guy. Or do.
Exactly.
Actually do, because at the end of the day, it's good publicity. That's it. Talk about it.
I don't know, but what did you feel about him apologizing? I didn't think he had to do that.
But that's Lin-Manuel. You know what I'm saying? Like that guy, he's a guy that's about love. He's a big fan of Walter Mercado. I don't know if you saw Walter Mercado.
Of course, I didn't see the documentary.
Yeah, and he was on there, and he was such he's about peace and love. Like he doesn't want to hurt anyone. That's his personality. But
that documentary was very sad.
Oh man,
that broke my heart.
But it was great. It really was great. It was
because he was so lonely when he broke it down.
He was lonely, but man, the man was loved by everyone. Yeah. It's like sometimes you got to take that L. When you're special, you're going to take that L. You're going to be loved by everyone because you're so useful to everyone.
I just didn't like how they were trying to focus so much if he was real, authentic. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
He gave so many women and so many children like memories of like being with their grandmother, being with their aunt, being with mom, like rushing to the TV, sitting on the floor, like shut up, raise the volume. Like, okay, who cares? Honestly, who cares if he was real or fake? What he did to in our community and like the hope and like shit. I remember like on New Year's Eve, my mom used to write down everything he used to say, and then we used to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, man, this man was an icon. This man, I'm telling you, the Pope liked this guy.
Facts.
You know what I mean? This guy, there was social media right now. He have like 300 million followers, man. Let's be real. This guy is like, and you didn't like, I knew he was such an important factor of Latino society.
No, he was huge.
But I didn't realize the scope and the gauge because I didn't know the numbers. And, now we have all these numbers and we're so up to date with everything. And this guy was important in every single country.
Everywhere.
Not even America. It's all over the world, man.
Everybody knew who he was.
Oh, man. God bless Walter Mercado, man.
Okay,
rest in peace. Facts, man. Wow, man. God, we're totally off topic, but man, he was an important person, and I'm just glad that you brought that up because, and not only that, look, man, like
we all knew he was gay.
He was a leader in the LGBTQ community as well.
And his assistant. For me, his assistant was his lover.
Hello, you know what,
I get it. You don't need to say it, but you see the interaction.
But you see, I love the fact that they kept their life private. I feel like more people should do that. When it's real love, you keep it private. You don't need to let anybody know, be answering questions to people that don't matter.
But you know what's the problem? Especially in this day and age, everybody wants to post everything. Yeah. Everybody wants to put all the good thing of a relationship. They want to put it all on social media. But when shit hits the fan, then they get upset. Why you're in my business? Well, boo, you've been putting your business so out there. So when you stop putting your business out there, people want to know what's going on, what's happening.
Facts. Because now you become a soap opera. Sorry, your days of our lives now. Dime. Come on, bro. Like, that's why, you know what I'm saying? And they were hardcore with it, though, man. They were hardcore with it. And it was so great because I'll be honest with you, man. Like, if it wasn't for Walter Mercado, it would have been weird for me growing up and interacting with people from the LGBT community. It wasn't strange to me to see somebody acting different than me, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because of him.
Yeah, but you know what's the problem? It's like... Even like you know, me coming out the closet and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my mother came at me. She was like, "You really think you were the first one?"
Yeah.
She goes, "There was others besides you, but back then, when you was this, you just disappeared."
Yeah.
That was big in our family. From what I was told from my mother, it's like, you know, I had a cousin who was a homosexual, and he just disappeared. They know nothing of him. Once he came out the closet, he disappeared, and my mother kept in contact with him. She said until I was born, and then, you know, they just lost contact.
Wow, that's unfortunate, man.
And that was, and she told me that especially in Uruguay, that was big. That was big. Like, you know, if you were gay, you would just disappear.
Wow,
Just disappear.
that's crazy. And you know what's so crazy? You said you grew up in Jersey and then you moved to Miami and then you came back out here. All right,
Well, no. So basically,
Yeah.
I left Elizabeth once I graduated. I went to school in Miami. Then I did a semester in Rhode Island.
Okay.
I hated Rhode Island. I was like a gypsy these years. And then I moved back to Miami.
Okay.
Finished my last year there.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I hate driving. And in Florida, I was working in the nightlife and hospitality and hotels, and like 95 north and south in a certain time frame, it was dangerous.
It's dangerous, bro. They're
Like,
going 100 miles an hour out there.
Not just that, but like between 5 o'clock in the morning and 7 o'clock in the morning, you have belligerent drunk people going opposite directions. Sometimes you have gone with the wind, drugged out people, like, will break right in front of you. I've seen so many accidents in those time frames that when I used to leave work, I would have to wait. I'd have to rush before, or if I was working, if I was working if I was working in Miami Beach or in Coconut Grove, I would wait after that time span, go to the diner, and just kill time, and then I would get on the car and drive home. I hated it with a passion. I hate driving with a passion. So for me, I like the city life because I prefer interacting, moving, walking. For me, I feel like it's quicker to get to. I get it. For day-to-day life, doing errands and necessities and stuff like that, you know, it's hard, but then it's easy. Yeah. You get used to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially when nowadays everything gets mailed to you. It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
It's so different.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's so different.
Oh no, and you know, I don't know that many Uruguayans, man. So
yeah, it's very weird.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
Yeah,
I always get like, where is that? And I'm like, oh, it's between Argentina and Brazil. Yeah. It's a small little island, Chile. Yeah, it's like it's and it's funny because like when you go to Uruguay, you could literally jump on the ferry from Uruguay to Argentina, and you're there like in I think like an hour and a half or 2 hours. You literally go around this lined of rocks, and then you arrived. Wow. I think if you drive it, I think it's like 7 hours.
Wow, that's crazy.
But we normally take the ferry. But that was one thing. Like growing up, it was important for my mother. My mom didn't want me and my brother to be like the family members from the United States that didn't speak a lick of Spanish, didn't interact with the cousins and the families and the aunts. So at a young age, my mom will bust her ass, and we would take family vacations and visit, my aunt, my uncles, my cousins, my grandmother, my grandfather, because that was important to her. And then, in Elizabeth, especially, there is a huge community of Uruguayans that immigrated to Elizabeth. So even in Elizabeth, like, you'll go and there's like the authentic bakeries, the authentic restaurants. Just like when you go to Newark and New Jersey and Ferry, you have the authentic Portuguese and Brazilian restaurants as well. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. Wow, that's crazy, man. It's good. I'm gonna have to tell my family members, yo, what's good? Because I never, I can't really, I don't know any Uruguayan dishes. Like, I'm familiar with South America, but that's an obscure kind of, country. It's smaller than,
so small.
Yeah.
And then in Uruguay, like, you have so many the problem is that it was like around World War One, I believe, or World War Two. I don't know which one it was, but like you have Italians that immigrated there, you had French that immigrated there, you also had Lebanese that immigrated there, and then you had Africans that immigrated there. So Uruguay is segregated in like little parts. Like if you want like there's this one restaurant that's known for like their lemon juice, you will go there for their lemon juice, but that's not an authentic Uruguayan food. That's a Lebanese food.
Yeah.
And then your wine's eating habit, it's very simple and clean. Like one thing I noticed when I go to Uruguay, again, it's just my craziness. Like we will go to the farmer's market, to the bodega in the corner, or to the supermarket, and it's all the same produce, fruits, and vegetable. Think about it. Brazil is right there. They could bring all those tropical fruits, but Uruguayans won't eat it.
That's so strange.
Yeah, they don't. They're very big meat eaters. Nothing from the cow gets thrown. Everything gets grilled and eaten. Everything gets grilled and eaten. Other meats that they'll eat with, it'd be like chicken, lamb, and goat.
But goat is big.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. And then if you go to certain parts in Uruguay, like by Punta del Este, Montevideo, you'll find, since it's by the water, it's all fish. But like the fish, it's either grilled or they do it kind of like battered, but it's just on flour and then just fried. And it's always like a simple Roman tomato, iceberg, or romaine lettuce, and onions, and oil, vinegar, and salt and pepper.
Okay, so
but it doesn't matter where you go, from poor to rich. Doesn't matter what's your status.
Yeah,
you will see that everybody eats the same way. Like you could tell on Sunday, it's either, if it's in the summer, okay, you're doing asado. But if it's during the wintertime, it's pasta, or you'll do a puchero.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it's funny because in Uruguay, we do a mondongo too.
Yeah.
But our mondongo is different. Like, we boil the shit out of the mondongo. Once you clean it, you get all the impurities, all that gelatin out.
Yeah.
Then we cook it.
Okay.
And then we cook it with garbanzos. You'll do like a mirepoix with celery, carrots, and onion. You add pork ribs, but you don't cut them long. You cut them in half. And then you add the chorizo. You also add the white beans, the garbanzo beans, the potatoes. And then you cook it for like a good 2 hours to like a stew. And then you really don't add any thickening agent, because el mondongo is going to have that gelatin, that natural gelatin. And that's going to thicken the stew.
Wow. That sounds like an intricate process.
Yeah, it's
man.
good.
Well,
It's good too.
I'm gonna be honest. Now, Antonio, we met at a hospital, and there was a moment in your life where you went through a life-changing experience. There was a moment in your life where you got HIV, correct? Mm-hmm. Now, I want you to tell the audience, because I feel like there's a lot of people that go out there and they get scared. And it's obviously like anything that happens to you in that matter, you're going to be a little bit shook. You know what I mean?
Well, it was hard.
Yeah, and I want you to explain to
like
people.
It was hard,
what it was like.
I was 28 years old.
Okay.
I was always protective. I always had sex with men like they had AIDS and HIV.
Okay.
And the way I found out of my status was I had broke out with shingles, and I thought it was a rash.
Oh, wow.
And then I went to the clinic, and I went to the clinic and I showed the doctor. I was like, I have a rash. And she goes, well, when's the last time you got tested? And I was like, it's been like 6 months. And then she goes, let me test you again. And then she was like, did you have any intercourse or any partners? And then I didn't, maybe oral or kissing or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't shoot up, I don't do none of that nonsense. So for me, I was shocked. And, it was some rough times because, I felt bad because I felt in the stigma of like, how our parents, especially in the Spanish community, if they find out you're gay, you're going to die of AIDS or HIV.
Yeah.
So then, my fear was like going to my mother and telling her that. And, I went through a roller coaster. I was going heavy on the drugs. I was doing mad cocaine and ecstasy just to drown in So
you were depressed as all hell.
Not even depressed.
Yeah.
I could be
suicidal.
Gone. I could be
you
gone
say
with the
that?
wind.
Yeah.
I could be gone with the wind, and if I died, I was good with that.
Really?
It
Wow.
took me a good 5 to like 6 years to be like moving on. You know, my brother, my family members don't know my status. The only person that really knows I'm HIV positive is my mother.
Wow.
Not even my father when he died.
Really? Wow. Would you do that on purpose?
No, I was just like, I just felt like it's not a topic that I need to talk to everybody.
Gotcha.
But then it's weird because right now I'm right here in front of you and we're speaking about it, and it's not like it doesn't faze me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because I've been healthy. I've been on my medication since I found out I was HIV positive when I was 28. But I was lucky, you know, I got on my medication, I got on my regimen. Like, I've been non-detectable for more than 7 years.
Now, how does that affect your day-to-day life, the regimen situation?
Not really, because my regimen is basically I take 1 pill a day, and I take it in the morning with my supplements. So supplements I need to take because I had gastric bypass when I was 19.
Gotcha.
Because I used to be morbid obese. I used to be like 300 pounds.
Wow.
And I lost a lot
Wow,
of
man,
weight.
you've been through a lot.
Yeah,
God, Jesus
I lost
Christmas.
a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight.
Wow.
But at that time when I had gastric bypass,
Yeah.
you know, it was brand new. I have a huge scar because they cut me open and they removed intestine. They don't do that anymore. So I had an obstruction in the intestine about 11 years ago.
Wow.
But I wasn't told by the surgeon that I needed to see a
Enterologist.
yes, at least every 3 to 4 years or every 2 to 3 years. I didn't know that. So when I had that obstruction, you know, the doctor was like, "What was the last time you saw?" And I go, "Never." And they were all shocked. I was like, "Since your surgery, you never?" I was like, "No."
But that's crazy.
Because I never had any.
And this is what I don't like about the healthcare industry.
I never had any complications. You know, okay, you know, when I had gastric bypass, like, I did it by the book. Like, you know, I'm not going to go through all the surgery to lose this weight and still eat my old habits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, my reasoning for being obese was I was an emotional eater.
Yeah.
I was dealing with being gay. I was dealing with issues of coming out of the closet and being comfortable in my skin. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I was able to deal with that, I was able to move forward. You know, but like, where it really, really, really affected me was like, I get it, you know, when I got the surgery done, doctors didn't know that much of the procedures and the surgery, but like, my primary doctor could have been on it as well, you know?
Wow.
But you know how it is in the health.
Yeah, man. And you know,
that's
that's what I want to talk about, man. Like the treatment that you've been receiving, you know, to get your medications, to make sure that you're healthy.
I have to be on top of that.
This is a big
I have to be
deal,
top of that.
man.
I have
you
to
know?
be top of that. And then, you know, you also have doctors that'll do random shit on you just to get money out of the health insurance.
God, are you serious?
Dead serious.
Such as?
Oh, I got an ultrasound for my liver. I'm dead serious.
Wow.
What else she made me? This is like when I just found out I was HIV positive. The doctor who she retired, she would do random shit like that. She would do like a yearly check, and it never like clicked to me like, why are you doing these tests? You know what I'm saying? Like, of course my liver's gonna be fatty. I used to be big.
Yeah.
So my liver, it's gonna be a little fatter. Okay, I drink, I party. Yes.
Yeah.
But one thing, knocking on wood, that I had a great nutritionist. I always followed what she told me was like, you know, Antonio, if you eat clean 4 to 5 days out of the week and you eat like shit, those rest of the days, your body bounces back. But it's important that you eat clean those time frames. When she did all the exams and blood work and shit on me, she told me I needed to eat more dark-rooted vegetable and fiber to make my metabolism work fast.
Yeah.
And it does, because I could
So it's for the triglycerides, right? To counteract that situation.
I could eat.
Yeah.
But even when I was at 300 pounds, I didn't have any like diabetes, and I was still an active person per se. You know what I'm saying? But like, I used to eat.
Yeah.
Like, honey, I used to eat a Big Mac, supersized 20-piece chicken nuggets, and then finish it off with a sundae. 2 sundaes.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. And the bitch then would have Diet Coke. I was that girl.
Oh my God.
I was that girl.
What a disaster.
Wash it down
man.
with a Diet Coke.
God, Jesus.
I can't even fuck with soda like that anymore.
Yeah.
After the surgery, it really fucks my stomach
Yeah.
up. Look at it, for example, on Sunday. I went out Sunday for dinner with a friend, with an old boss of mine.
Yeah.
And like she ordered a bottle of champagne, whatever we was drinking, and it fucked up my stomach. Completely fucked up my stomach.
Now, my questions to you is, I mean, does it expand your stomach after a while? Where you can start eating relative?
I could go back.
Because I know you're like on 23 milliliters when you start something crazy like that, right?
I could go back
Yeah.
weighing 300 pounds.
Oh, okay. So eventually over the course of time.
I could gain all that weight.
Okay,
The
got
only
you.
reason why I gained a little weight right now, because when I get really skinny, I look like a bobblehead. My head looks big and my ears pop out. And then I look, I don't like the look.
Yeah.
So before I started with the plastic surgery, I wanted to just be even, like straight. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to look weird.
You want to look balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
But you know, I've been eating like that since surgery, since I was 20, and now I'm 39. You know, my body's already used to it.
Yeah.
Like my body's all used to, like, if I don't eat a certain way, I can't eat so much. Like for example, when I went to New Orleans, I found out the hard way that I can't fuck with food that's been fried and shortening. My mouth would get watery, my eyes. I gotta go to the bathroom because I gotta throw up.
Gotcha.
That's the only thing I don't like about the surgery that I still have. I
Yeah.
can eat something, does not matter where I'm at or what type of a restaurant or establishment. My body would be like, oh no, this gotta
quiet,
go.
yeah.
This gotta go now.
Wow.
And it goes out now.
Wow.
I can still do that to this day.
Really?
I can still do that to this day.
Wow.
I can still do that to this day. And I've asked.
But at least you can eat food that you like, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't give you
Yeah.
that reaction and eat it to a kind of, because I know when you first started, it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's like when it comes to greasy food, I can
Yeah.
only eat it so much.
Got you.
You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like,
Which is good though. I mean, it's bad for you anyways.
Yeah, but you know, when you're hungover, you want that burger.
Yeah, it's a fact,
You want
yeah.
that burger with bacon, Swiss
Yeah.
cheese, and a fried egg.
Yeah.
You know, but I already know.
That's some Southern American shit right there for real.
But it's so good.
It's delicious.
It's so good.
That's where I learned the trade. You know, I mean the
ketchup
trick.
and mayonnaise
Yeah.
and spicy mustard.
I'm like, oh, you can put an egg on a burger. It's not.
Yeah, it's so good. But if I want to finish that whole burger, I won't even touch the fries
Got you.
because the fries is just a filler.
Got
I
you.
prefer to get filled with that because I've been craving that.
So Antonio, is it hard for you to have like relationships nowadays? Like, do you date like normally? Like, you know, like how does that work,
Oh,
man?
it's hard.
Yeah?
It's really hard.
Okay.
You know, I'm in a weird period because like
Are you in a space in life where you're trying to meet someone?
Yeah, but like, you know what's the problem? It's like
Yeah.
I look younger than what I am.
Okay.
So then I'll either get like an older man that wants to put me as a trophy wife
Gotcha.
or be his
So
sugar
that happens
baby.
in that happens
Oh,
in the
that
LGBT
happen-
community.
yeah.
There's the trophy person.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. It's all the same thing, man.
Yeah,
You just like
it's all
different
the
things.
same thing.
Jesus Christ,
all the
man.
same
Stop
thing.
with the ignorance is what I say. Just let people be. It's all the
It's
same
all the
thing
same
at the end
thing.
of the day. You just want to be happy.
And the majority of my friends
Yeah.
who are older than me, there's like, you won't settle down. You won't meet the person to settle down until you're in your like early 40s.
Gotcha.
So they're like, just enjoy it.
Okay.
You know, and I'm very out there. Like, you know, I'll put myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I'm transitioning to, like, I'm really focused right now. Like, you know, when I met you, I tell you with the plastic surgery, getting that done. Then I want to focus on career-wise. So it's like, am I I'm in a place right now to be in a relationship? No, because there's certain things that I want to get done before I get myself in a relationship.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, I want to be with somebody to build a foundation and have a relationship and build a home together. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants that. Does not matter what your lifestyle is. You know, everybody wants to have that person that you could fall back and they could fall back on you.
Gotcha.
But it's hard because, like, you meet a lot of people that just want to be with somebody just to see what they could get out of you and what could they gain from you to move up.
Yeah. How useful you are, you know.
And that
to
has
them.
happened to me a lot.
Yeah.
Has happened to me so much. But you know what? What I give the thanks to God was that, you know, my first relationship, you know, he empowered me. You know, he didn't make me ashamed of being big. Like, you know, we were that was a, you know, oof. You know,
You were like a teddy bear. They call them teddy bears, right?
I would
Is
need,
that true?
Literally, I would need the lights
Because you know, as a straight man, you'd be
Yeah.
afraid to use the lingo. But I mean, you've been
Yeah.
living in New York for so long, and you've
Oh,
been
yeah,
around.
I was
You know,
a cub.
I worked in Greenwich Village for
Yeah,
12
I
years
was
as
a
a
cub.
kid. So yeah, I bet. So all right, cool.
So
cool.
like, you know, he used to be like, no,
Yeah.
Antonio, you're beautiful, like lights on, and that helped. Like, oh my God, I thank him. My God, like he was crazy. It was a roller coaster emotion, but then I get it because he was an only child.
Gotcha.
You know, he was trying to be something to his parents that he wasn't. You know, and I understand now the emotional roller coaster. And someone, I'm kind of happy that I went through that at such a young age.
Yeah.
Because then I was like, I'm not dealing with shit. Like I already knew what I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's good that you know what you want.
Yeah,
man.
you need to know what you want.
Yeah.
You know, and listen, I'm not shaming on people that want to be in a relationship and they want to be taken care of and they want to be a sugar baby or they want to be a sugar daddy, because that has happened to me too. I've been in relationships that the guy is so used to being the sugar daddy or the one always paying that when they meet somebody different that be like, oh no, I got this.
Yeah.
They don't know how to act.
Yeah.
But then, you know, what's fucked up is that they always say, oh, I want somebody like this and this and this. But then when you meet that person, then you don't know how to act. You treat them like shit still.
Yeah.
Because you're not in charge of the situation.
Well, you're not true to yourself. If you like to pay for it, just pay for it, baby. You know, I feel like it's the outside people talking that make you feel uncomfortable with it. Because some dudes want to be that guy that's the sugar
But you know what?
daddy, I'm saying?
Exactly. But if you're gonna date somebody who is not comfortable in that situation,
That-
then
yeah,
you need to understand that
it's a
person's
fact. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Either let it go or
or let that person
adjust.
meet you halfway.
Yeah, facts.
Because then you're fighting over bullshit.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Would you adopt? Are you against adopt? Do you want to have children or no? Okay.
Look, it's hard bringing up a child.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And let's
Yeah.
be real with each other. Like, when you have kids, like, I can't be out till 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Cannot do that. Stumbling from after hours at 9 o'clock in the morning, I can't do that. You know, I'm not saying I'm gonna be doing that. I mean, I haven't hung up my cha-cha heels. I still go out and I still kiki. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You know, I'm not partying as hard as
Yeah.
I used to party.
I mean, is it because of the body just can't take it? Right?
I can't drink how I used to do.
I feel you, man. You know,
I don't know
sometimes
how I
you-
used to do it.
Me neither, man. I
And
don't-
go to class. And then go to class. Like when I lived in Miami,
Yeah.
I would go out, go to class, go to work, go out. I don't know how I did it.
Now, Antonio, man, you know, now that we're talking about, partying and stuff like that, like, 20 to 30% of people in the LGBTQ community, man, are suffering from alcohol and substance abuse, man.
That's
like,
true.
What are your thoughts on that, and where do you think that stems from, man?
Well, it's weird now because, like, okay, I'll give you a good example. Like right now, like me and my friend, we were out last night at this club, Battleham, and I mean, I'm surprised with the young generation. Like, they're so high on GHB, and it was like we got to the club early. Cause I'm not gonna lie to you, I got used to going out early.
Yeah.
Like it's hard now for me to stay out a little late, cause of the whole pandemic. Yeah, during the whole pandemic, I was still kikiing going out to all these underground parties.
Yeah.
But majority they were straight, they weren't gay.
Yeah.
So the music wasn't that good, but it was
Yeah.
good to do something,
Yeah.
But like I was shocked because it was like you would see all these kids shoot up G, and then their inhibitions and everything is just gone with the wind. They're not drinking alcohol. I noticed that this generation does not drink alcohol.
Yeah, no.
It's hardcore drugs, and they mix. Like growing up, like my first ecstasy, I'll never forget. I was 21 years old and was in Rhode Island. My friend Guadalupe and I went to a S&M circuit party. Not a good choice to drop ecstasy and then see somebody cage or fist or being whipped. Not so
Hell out of
good.
here. You serious?
Oh my God. I
You went through
freaked
that
out.
experience? That must have bugged you the hell out, bro.
High as a kite. That we ended up going, I'm dating myself. We ended up leaving that party and there used to be an after hours in Boston. High as a kite, we drove to Boston and we went to this other after hours called Rise. And then I came down because it was a little room full of mirrors and it helped the high. I freaked out, but I'll never forget it. It's a story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
But then again,
And you survived, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't start like drinking. I used to get Gone with the Wind fuckface with Midori sours too.
Wow.
And I was 20.
Those are delicious, by the way.
Oof.
Very underrated drink. No, I like them. I like
That's a
the
lot of
Midori.
sugar right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know.
and like that was 22. Mm-hmm. You know, I really didn't start drinking and getting into it till like 28. Mm-hmm. No, a little younger than that. Like 24. But like, Miami, there were some days like, oof.
Yeah, well, Miami itself is one hell of a drug, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I really didn't.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really didn't
Yeah.
start. I really didn't start going heavy on the drugs and kikiing was till I moved to New York.
Really?
And that surprised me because you know what, in Miami, Coke runs like crazy.
Yeah, that rules the world,
Ooh.
you know.
And good Coke, not the
Yeah.
shitty shit that you get
No,
here.
not-
So I was surprised, and I used to always see it around me, but I really didn't get into it until here in New York City.
Wow. Everybody's, you know, hyped
Every-
that. Well, I mean, I feel like some people, if you can't get Adderall, you get Coke. You know, you gotta keep that energy you had in your 20s, man. There's no other way, you know. I
That
get it.
Adderall, oh my God. I was
I don't-
jumping all over the
yeah.
club when I took that
I'm
the first
telling
time.
you, man, that is crazy. I can't believe they still prescribe that,
Me
man. It's
either.
still on the market.
I don't know how they
man.
can give that to children.
I don't know how. That's crazy. I feel like that's child abuse, man. That drug is powerful, man. God.
Well, then again, you know, look how many parents they label their kids special need or
Yeah.
special ed just to get finance or to get money out of the government.
It's
I didn't know that was a thing until a friend of mine's like boyfriend just found out that his mom did that to
Really?
him and his other siblings.
Was he devastated?
Yeah, because you know that marks you as a human being. When you're labeled special need, it fucks up certain situations.
Yeah.
Like when I went through the whole system to get my apartment through the SRO, the shelters, like they were so big on like, well, if you deal with depression and if you take medications, it's easier for us to place you in an apartment. But because I didn't want it to be, because I didn't want it to be labeled as depression. I'm not belittling or talking down on anybody who is taking medication for depression, because it's a battle to deal with, you know what I'm saying? But like I didn't want to be labeled as that because then it fucks certain situations, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Such as?
well, think about it. When you do career wise or work wise and they see that you're on this medication, people are going to treat you and look at you in a certain way. Or it'll close certain doors, like it happened to some of my girlfriend's friend. He couldn't do certain programs that he wanted to because he was already labeled special need.
Wow, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Man. And why did you end up in the shelter system with domestic violence or something like that?
No, honey, I was just
Okay.
like, you know, New York City ain't cheap to live.
Okay.
And it's really expensive to move out on your own.
Got you.
I was living in the projects in the Lower East Side paying like $400 for not even a room, a little hallway with a curtain.
What? A closet, essentially.
Not even. It was like a
Wow.
living room. And the Baruch apartment
In the Brew Project.
and the Baruch projects on 90 Columbia.
Wow, that's crazy, dog.
Oh God.
Wow.
Let me tell you, New York did not make it easy to transition from Florida to here. It was not.
And you had no people backing you up, right? You don't have family members out here or anything, do you?
I mean, I got my mom and my brother and stuff like that,
okay.
but I can't really depend on them like
Got
that.
you,
You know what I'm saying? Or my dad, and it was hard because, like, you know, to get an apartment, you need to make certain amount of money.
Yeah.
So as a server, I wasn't making that type of money like that, so I wouldn't get an apartment.
Yeah,
that was always my issue.
That's
So then I had a friend of mine who I haven't seen him out and about, and then I had another friend of mine from the project. She was like, Antonio, just go through the program, go through the SRO, you'll get an apartment. It's true. Now, what my friend didn't tell me was that if I went through the SRO program, I should have said I was crazy, like I was depressed and emotional, and I need this medication, that medication. And he was like, girl, just don't take it. But I'm like, but girl, then you're labeled as that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, it goes in your record to do a background check if
Yeah.
you want to run for office. I mean, whatever the case may be, if you want
gonna jump.
Yeah, it's gonna pop. You know what I mean? It's gonna
So
be out there.
I was like, yeah, I couldn't. And it took me 2 years. It took me 2 years to move from the SRO. I was picky where I wanted to live too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, you do want to be picky. I mean, at the
of
end of
course,
the day,
I'm
yeah.
going through all this.
Yeah, you got to make sure you land where you want to land, man. Wow, that's crazy. Now, Antonio, man, like, it is, the LGBTQ special. So, I know we go on these
I
tangents.
know, we're going so many
no,
different
but it's fun
topics.
because I'll bring it back, you know what I mean? To, I do feel bad for the transgenders that are getting murdered, man. Like, what?
But you know what? But that's
what's
not.
going
That's
on?
nothing new.
Really?
That is nothing new. Okay, so growing up in Elizabeth, I had
yeah.
one friend who she was transgender,
Yeah.
and she lived on the block.
Yeah.
And but it was cute that we were all together. Like the people who were gay and were openly, we were all with each other. You know what I'm saying? I still talk to certain friends from high school, and she didn't have it easy. Like when she would go to the bathroom, she would have to go to the nurse office.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like she was in the part of the high school that was gifted and talented program, so it wasn't as hard. But she went through some issues. She still had the same issues that I had with the family and the brothers. With them being ashamed, embarrassed, hiding it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she's killing it, and she did great, and so did all my other friends as well. But back in the days, like I had another friend, the only way she was able to survive was, sell herself and give blowjobs for $20.
Wow.
At the piers.
That's horrible, man. For anyone, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to pay for these medications too, and you know all about dealing with medication and how hard it is with the healthcare industry. Man.
I had one friend who I saw the complete transition, like when they cut and she had to buy like certain types of dildos to keep that hole open, because you know what, it's not a natural hole, so you need to keep it open.
And they don't prescribe you dildos? Like you have to buy your own?
That I don't know. They subscribe you now. At that time, we're talking about, this is in the 90s, like 99,
Probably
98.
not. Yeah, that was
at that time. It was different.
The technology.
I don't
probably
think at
still
that time
developing.
you were able to get hormones prescription through pharmacy. Were you?
Yeah.
I really don't know, because like
Yeah.
at those times they would come to Queens or certain parts of New York, and it was all underground.
Yeah.
I'd been with a friend of mine that she used to go to this one spot in Brooklyn, get silicone injected in her.
Wow.
And knocking on wood, she didn't have any complications.
That is crazy. Are you serious?
Dead serious. But back
I mean, you could have serious complications with on the low freaking silicone.
But
man.
back in those days, if you didn't travel in a group, gay, trans, whatever, you always traveled in a group.
Okay.
Whereas now, you don't need to travel in a group. I mean, with everything that's going on, and I honestly, I loved it. I loved when President Trump won, for the simple fact that it unmasked so many people's true personality. Like, you really saw who they were. You really did.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to hide it.
No, they didn't. It was
They
okay.
didn't. They were open about it.
I know. I couldn't
So,
believe it.
but honestly, for me, I prefer to know who you really are from the get-go. I hated growing up when I would get people that would smile and act like they were my confidant, and they were just backstabbing.
But you don't think it divides the country, though? You don't think that's bad for us?
Absolutely. But you know what?
It does start a conversation,
yeah, but
though,
the good thing is,
you're
like,
right.
okay, I know where the fuck you stand now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
Whereas, and it's worse when you don't know where you stand
Yeah,
at.
and you're still placating people
Yeah,
and
and
shit,
you're being
yeah.
around the bushes.
Yeah.
Because the majority of those people are now so forward of who they were.
That's a fact. You're right about that. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right about that.
But you know what? Another thing in the gay community, there's still segregation and like
segregation. How?
for example, I could tell you, like you'll go out to a nightclub. There's circuit parties. Circuit parties are for the muscle queens, for all the gays that work
Circuits parties?
Circuit parties. So circuit parties
For the
basically
muscle queens.
Muscle queens.
All right.
So it's basically
Those are big
it's-
brolic dudes?
Yes, the gym guys.
Oh, man.
The gym guys, but the majority of them, they're all power bottoms.
Okay.
And the majority of them, they're all
What the hell is a power bottom?
she just likes to get plowed to the gods.
Okay.
but majority of them, they're so fucked up on GHB that they do their 1-2 step and their chest pump, and that's all they do all night. And then the funny part is, majority of them, they all got chicken legs, and then it's like all upper body. Yeah. Because they're juicing. And as much as you, like, honestly, when I lived in Miami and I was transitioning, transitioning meaning like losing all the weight, had a personal trainer. And then I used to get told at the gym, so what's your intake? And I didn't know what they were talking about, right? Yeah. So then my personal trainer, I was like, John, why do they keep asking me what's my intake? Does that mean like how much weight I'm doing? And he started laughing. He was like, Antonio, they're asking you how much steroids you're taking. And I go, but why? He was like, Antonio, they want to have your legs. Yeah. And then it took me a minute. He was the one that brought it to my attention. He was like, when you take a shower, look at their balls. If their balls are high up, they're shooting like crazy.
They're shooting up. Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I did not know that. Wow. I did not know that. Did not know that. But then, like, now you're starting to see everybody mix. But it was back then, like, circuit queens, or the circuit queens only stuck with the circuit queens. The bodybuilder, the muscular.
So they only fucked with each other.
Yeah, and then the circuit queens, majority of the time, they're white, Hispanic, Asian, and that's it. Okay. Very little black.
Really?
Very little. But then you'll go, for example, you go to certain clubs that's majority black and Latino and Afro-Latino. Okay. But then you won't see no white queens. You could count the white.
And what's a queen? Just want to.
Well, it's like a flamboyant man.
Would you consider yourself one?
Yeah, you can say that. Okay. Yeah, you can say that, or flamboyant. I really am not big on this whole label.
Well, no, right now it's for the sake we're labeling now.
Yeah, I know, but like my doctor the other day, she goes, "What is your pronoun?" And I just started laughing.
That's a new thing, you know?
And I was just like, listen, if it wasn't because of me and my generation before, these kids couldn't be saying what is. These kids couldn't be able to do, go to a hetero person and be like, that's not my pronoun. Yeah. I think it's cute.
Yeah, no, you guys have fought for a lot of rights, man. It's for a lot of respect out here, man. Let's be real, man. I remember
back in the days, I had to go out with a box cutter.
Yeah, a lot of atrocities happened.
Let me tell you, and the big orange box cutter.
And you were allowed, I mean, to a certain point, you could kill a gay man if they misled you. Yeah. And with no repercussions.
You could go to jail. Yeah. Do you remember when
you can go to jail?
Remember, I had friends that cops will go dress normal to a gay bar and then act like they're picking them up, and then they go to jail for that. Yeah, because
solicitation. Yeah.
People don't.
They don't understand.
They don't talk about that.
They don't.
You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, man.
I'm surprised you even know about that, because a lot of fucking straight people don't know that. My mom gagged when I told her about that.
Well, I mean, like I said, I worked in Greenwich Village for a long time.
I had to be careful, especially going out.
Yeah, no, I mean, my friend wrote a play about the Stonewall incident. I mean, it never went anywhere, but he wrote a play. He wanted to do a play about.
Yeah, but that was all because of the Latinos, trans community. Yeah. It wasn't because of the white queens. You know what I'm saying? Where you see a lot of big separation. It's like, even like when I went to Chicago, oh my God, that was very weird. Okay. You would go out and like one corner was the Asian community, one corner was the white community, one corner was the Puerto Rican community, one corner was the Mexican community. I was really surprised when I saw that one. And when I went to Chicago, it was back in early 2000s. But like, what is refreshing now, because you also like saw the mix, like when you used to go to Limelight, you used to see all the Bridge and Tunnel kids.
Oh my God, Limelight!
You remember all the Bridge and Tunnel kids? You would see all the gays, all the hip hop or whatever. It was all
it was a cluster. It was a cluster F, man. It was awesome. Limelight was the best club. I mean, you know what I mean. By the way, everyone, that club was in a church. If no one knows that, right? Now they sell clothes out of there. Right? It's like a thrift store. Like,
I thought they were converting it back to a club or something.
Are they really? I don't know.
I don't think they had any luck.
I mean, I've been out the club scene for a while, but I remember
I don't think they had
20s,
any luck with that space. Yeah. That they had any luck with that space. So that was like the Tunnel. Yeah. The Tunnel used to be like one floor, it'd be hip hop. Yeah. One floor, it'd be all gays. Yeah. But we used to all intertwine when we went to the bathroom. Yeah. Or when we used to go get the drugs or whatever.
Yeah. At that point, everybody was the same. It's funny how drugs and money get involved. Everybody's the same, right?
I mean, those were some fun times. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
I love the
good
New York was
times.
sketchy.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
I love
yeah,
when New York was
you know.
sketchy.
I mean, you know, it's lost that charm, you know, unfortunately.
I mean, but you gotta admit it. It's kind of funny, like when I was living in the Heights, it used to be funny when I always see like these preppy Connecticut kids walking, and I'm like, oh my god, back in this, they wouldn't survive. They would get jumped.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't make it, bro.
No,
They were there. I mean, they were food.
I remember when my friends used to come from uptown and we used to go out to the Village or go out in Chelsea. They used to come with a bag of clothes. Right, we had to go to a public bathroom for them to change, and then back in those days there wasn't coat check.
Yeah.
You used to literally stash your clothes by a payphone and hope it was still there.
Yo, that's
for
crazy.
you to change.
And why were they changing again? Why were they doing that?
Because think about it, they couldn't come out their house in high heels and a beat face and wigs.
Wow.
So if you was a performer, you either had to get dressed at the club or at the bar, or be friends with somebody who lived in the city that you were able to do that. Back in the days, you couldn't come from the 1, the 2.
Yeah.
You couldn't. You would get beat or stoned or killed.
That's crazy. And there's people still that want you guys to be going through that, man. Yeah. That's crazy.
But then the majority of those people, they're closeted, or they're dealing with insecurities, or they're dealing with baggage.
Wow. You know, and that's unfortunate. I feel like if we focus less on our rage and more on the actual things that we like, maybe like, you know, figure out what you like instead of figuring out what you hate. Maybe your life will be a lot better, and you'll be able to be more inclusive and more accepting, man. I feel like life isn't fun. You're neglecting a whole when you have hate in your heart, you just neglect fun. You neglect education. You neglect a wide range of things. You stop expanding your horizons when you neglect people solely based on because you don't know, you either don't appreciate or don't like their lifestyle, or you just were raised not to like that lifestyle or their race or their religion or whatever it is the case may be. I feel like life is too short to be caught up in that hate, man.
Well, I think what's important to move forward. Yeah. It's like, you know, like how we're doing from 2 totally different backgrounds. We're sitting down and we're having a conversation, and we're open to know from each other's past and ask questions.
And look at that, you went to Limelight, I went to Limelight.
And
who knew?
Who knows? We probably were next to each other.
That's
who knows? I probably know some of your friends, and you know some of my friends.
That's a fact.
Who knows?
We'll find out when this airs.
Okay.
You know.
But it's like, who knows? You don't know.
It's the thing, man. You know. And if you keep yourself blinded, I mean, that you're gonna miss out on life, man. You keep living your life like that, man. It's crazy. Well, Antonio, we reached the point in the podcast though where it's time to play 5 words with Angel. I know I didn't brief you, but on 5 Word with Angel, it's a word association game. I'll give you a word or phrase. You're going to give me the first word or thought that comes to your head. Okay. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. The first word is Pride Week. What do you think about when you hear Pride Week?
Colorful.
Nice.
Honestly.
I like that. No, I like that.
Colorful.
I like that. The second word is a little bit of cobalt. I don't know if you know about this, but the second word is Big Tarvy.
What do I think of that?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you even said one of the words.
What do you mean?
I would not expect that to be one of the words.
You know, I just saw the commercial the other day because we promoted it also in the magazine that I wrote for. You know, I just wanted to know your thoughts on it.
I think it's great.
Yeah. Now, could you tell the audience what it is for those that don't know?
It's a medication that helps you not to get HIV or AIDS. Now, it does not help you not get gonorrhea or STD or chlamydia. That some people don't understand that.
Yeah. And this is the thing too. I feel like people are still too loose, bro. Like, I understand we have medications and things of that nature, but like, you still want to go out there and protect yourself and have
and
safe
not just
sex.
that. If you do have unprotected sex, like, go the next day and get tested.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And but Biktarvy helps you, like,
a lot of people are on Biktarvy, and I think it's a great medication.
Okay, great. Well, that's good to know, man. You know, well, the third word is, we were talking about this the first time we met.
What?
Waist trainers. You know.
You learn how much you could eat with it. I learned that the hard way.
Really?
Yeah, it took me 2 weeks. Because if you overeat, you throw up because you're pressuring your okay. I didn't buy my waist trainers I couldn't buy the female ones that makes your waist cinch because I'm a man. My body is not shaped like that.
Yeah, it's shaped different.
So I would buy the man one, but I would buy within my measurements. But it's only like you could only eat then drink. You can't do both.
Got you.
And then there's only to a certain point that you can eat. Otherwise, you will throw up.
Okay, so make sure you buy that right size.
Yeah, and make sure that, you train yourself, when you're out, know your limit. Because otherwise, you get bloated, and being bloated and that pressure, it's not a good mix.
It's painful, I could imagine.
Not a good mix.
Wow. Wow. We learn something new every day here on the Angel of Words podcast. The fourth word is New York City. What comes to mind?
Energy.
Energy. Love it. Love it. Love it. And the fifth and final word is Lady Gaga. Fan or not?
I mean, in the beginning,
okay,
I'm a fan. Now it's too much.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, I traveled all the way to Chicago from New York to go see, to Indianapolis, Indiana to go see her from New York. I was a big fan. I liked the sound when it came out.
Yeah,
I never
me
heard
too.
anything like it.
But then after the second album, I lost it.
Yeah, I kind of lost touch with her too.
Yeah.
She kind of made the comeback with the movie A Star Is Born for me. Like that wave was good for those couple.
Really, for me, was the American Horror Story. That was her comeback.
Okay, to me it was A Star Was Born. I wasn't.
I didn't
a
even
big
see
fan
it yet.
of American Horror Story.
I'm more of a classic, so I still like the Barbra Streisand one.
Oh man, you know what's so funny? It was gonna be Barbra Streisand, but I'm like, yo, it's 2021. Maybe people won't know who Barbra Streisand is. Babs, you know what I mean? I was gonna say about that. Let's do Lady Gaga, but no, look, she's right here. I was gonna say her if I was. No, Babs she's a beast.
Yeah.
Why they love her so much in the gay community? I'm just curious.
She's just like. She's a performer, just like Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, no, she's a beast. Liza, forget about it. Legendary.
Cabaret, come on.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't remake that yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well.
Right?
It's coming out soon. Come on,
I hope they don't because that's a movie you can't fuck with.
I know it's gonna be tough, man.
Well, that's like Mommy Dearest. You can't fuck with that either.
Yeah, it's tough. Those are hard flicks to remake. To cast it, how would you cast that? Who would you pick?
Well,
and that
with the Star
scrutiny.
Is Born, they did good.
Yeah, that's true.
They did good. I haven't watched that movie yet, honestly, but they did good.
No, I mean, I like the film. You know what I mean? I like the film. I like the music. Bradley Cooper was great. I'm a big fan of his. And Gaga did better than I thought she would. But she's a decent. She's an artist, man.
I think she's great as an actress.
She's great. She's a good actress,
honestly.
Bro. She really is.
Honestly, I mean, no shade, no tea. I mean, she did better than some other pop stars.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when Madonna did Argentina?
Yes, that was. That was bad, man.
Do you remember when the Argentinians didn't want her to play Vita Perón? And they did that whole protest?
Bro, that was crazy.
Remember when that movie that she filmed that was crazy? It was so everywhere. That movie that she directed.
Not the sexual movie, not erotica, right?
No. That was she played as an
with William Dafoe,
Yeah, there was another movie that she directed,
Yeah.
like a 2000 or something. That was also weird. Like it made no sense.
No, I don't remember that flick. Nah,
it was ironic.
Which is weird. I was a big fan of hers.
Yeah,
well.
Who was it?
Yeah, I know.
She was big in the 90s.
I miss her. It sucks that she's, it's not that she's not relevant. She's just,
she tries too hard to be relevant.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's the problem,
and it's not tasteful.
It's not,
and we live in a different generation now. Yeah,
and I feel like when you're so desperate and you're so thirsty,
they know they don't like thirsty.
No.
Yeah, it's got to be natural.
See it. Mm-hmm. It's not natural.
Yeah,
but that's like, whereas like Barbra Streisand is like she's cooking for Cocoa Puffs, but like it's natural.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you see Oprah, she's cooking for Cocoa Puffs too, but it's natural.
Yes.
She could still mingle with the young kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't try too hard.
Yeah. But you know what it is too? Madonna was it. She was everything. It's hard.
And think about it from 3 generations, for the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s.
And she was the master of reinventing yourself. So she's going to think that everything she tries is going to work. She just needs to stop trying. You're good. You're Madonna. You made it.
But then again, she did it. She was the one that, she wasn't the one that started the formula of surrounding herself with all the gays and the party gays. If you're really going to break it down, that started back from like Bette Midler, Grace Jones. episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Liza
really
Minnelli's
get into
mother,
it, yeah.
Judy Garland. Like,
Judy Garland,
yeah, like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, that formula came from back in the days. She just picked up on it quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She did. Yeah.
But she always surrounded herself by powerful gays.
Yeah, no.
Even all the pop stars now do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Even Lady Gaga stylists, Beyonce, they all did great jobs. And you could tell when they stopped working with certain stylists, you'd be like, ooh, it's not.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
It just didn't click.
Yeah. I love that you pick up on that, man. Like,
but you gotta-
yeah. And what is it, man? You know, what is it about entertainment and the LGBTQ community that works so well together?
I mean, come on now, think about it. In your day-to-day life, you're dealing with so much bullshit and so much animosity and rudeness. It's like when you go to the gay club, like, you want to unleash, you want to have fun. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter where party you go to or what group you affiliate with, but when you go out and you have fun. The energy's there. You know what I'm saying? But like back in the days, it wasn't like that. You know, especially like if I was as a Latino or femme queen, I wouldn't be able to go to certain straight bars. There were certain gay bars I couldn't mix because I wasn't welcome there. Do you get what I'm saying?
Such
Like,
as?
you don't see that no more.
Like the cubbyhole, one of those?
No, that was focused on the lesbian.
Oh, okay.
That was more on the lesbian community. But like back in the days, you know, there were certain gay clubs. Like, you know, if you were like fashion forward, artistic, you know, you were creative, you would go to certain bars or certain clubs because you were more welcome.
Gotcha.
But if you were very like simple or you're like, you know, just not that out there, and you go to those bars, like, you wasn't welcome, you will be kicked out.
Wow.
You know, Pose, he did a whole TV show about that.
Who?
Pose, you know that TV show Pose?
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh my God, there's literally an episode that
Pose, Pose. Gotcha.
she walks in as a trans woman, and the bar that she goes to, it's majority male forward, male looking, more androgynous, more manly, and they kicked her out. That was a thing back then, and that was a
that's
thing.
the segregation that you're talking about.
Yeah, and that was a thing.
Wow, I didn't know
Yeah,
this.
and that was a thing.
It's such a subculture within a
and
culture.
that was a thing, and that was a thing even to like I'm gonna say that started transitioning to like mid 90s.
Gotcha.
Yeah, when Peter and all the club kids, that era broke that stigma. Broke that, like, you know, you got to be this certain way to get here. That kind of broke, because then everybody was mixed. Because then all the bridge and tunnel kids wanted to see what all the club kids and the creative kids. So like, then you mixed it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
It was beautiful. It was a beautiful medley.
I love that.
It was good times,
It
man. I'll be honest
was.
with you, man. Webster Hall, all these clubs were like fantastic, man, back in the days, bro. I mean, you know, I don't ever.
It's
be the
just
same,
sad
but-
that, you know, rent and mortgages are so fucking high that as a club owner, you can't even keep a club in the city.
No.
Now you have to go to the Boondocks,
Yeah.
Ridgewood and Queens,
Yeah.
all the way up in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
To a porta potty.
Yeah.
Not even to a nice club. Because at least back in those days, you go to an experience, you know, a beautiful club. Now it's just like you're either in a small little venue and you're like sardines in a can. You can barely dance. You know what I'm saying? And then now it's not so much about the music and the dancing. Now it's about the social media, the bottle service, the to be seen, to be heard. It's not like you buy your sweats and your outfit and you're out dancing.
Yeah, it's not about that life.
No.
And you can't even mingle with different.
And you know what I thought?
Yeah.
You know, I really honestly thought that after the pandemic and everything, it was going to go to that. And it's not like, look, I get it as club owners, certain clubs were closed and they try to make their money, but it's just like, come on now, like, you're charging people crazy for like a
ridiculous,
cocktail.
bro. It's crazy.
Like, I
don't
get
wanna
the
go out no
entrance.
more.
I get the entrance. Look,
Yeah.
I get the entrance. You got to pay for the DJ. You got to pay for staff.
Yeah.
I get all of that. But like, really, you want to charge $19 for a vodka soda?
That's a lot, G.
That's a lot when you got that in a case and you probably pay not even $1 for that bottle. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's not fun. It doesn't make it fun.
But then again, like we spoke earlier, this generation isn't drinking as much.
Yep.
So what they're selling more is Gatorade, water, Red Bull, fucking Truly.
Yeah.
I'm surprised to see that shit everywhere now.
Everywhere, bro.
Everywhere.
Those spritzers, man. I mean, I'm gonna lie. Not a fan, bro.
Ooh, that's that reminds me of like the off-brand children medication that my mom used to buy.
Yeah, that's the aromatic feel it
Yeah.
has to it. It's disgusting.
I don't like it.
Oh man, Antonio, what's happening, man? What are we gonna do, right? Let him adapt. You know what I mean? Hopefully, it'll get better.
Well,
from
you
this
know,
on out.
I mean, think about it. That's why everybody's leaving big cities because it's so expensive. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I hate when people were saying that, oh, the city is back alive. The city was always alive. If you was a who's who and you knew what the fuck was going on, then you was out and about.
That's a fact.
Do you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, the city is not what it used to be. The city was all about the creative energy, the art, you know, and if they keep focusing on the money and bringing the preppies and the businessman, you're going to lose what the city was.
It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I'm curious to see what happens moving forward, especially after the pandemic. To be honest with you, man.
Well, I mean, look at all the retail stores that closed because it doesn't make sense having a flagship store anymore.
Doesn't, man. Victoria's Secret gone.
But they were paying $1 million of rent a month.
That is crazy, man.
You saw that rebrand that they did now?
Yo, like you made Victoria's Secret rebrand. That's a disaster, man. Jesus.
I've worked with those people when I interned for KCD, and it was a nightmare.
God, Antonio, what's gonna happen, man? What's gonna happen? Well, Antonio, man, could you give the audience, man, you know, and especially the heterosexual community a message out there? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, I'm gonna honestly,
love.
with the heterosexual community, it's like, you know, what's important is just like we all want to be respected. We all want to be acknowledged. You know, just like how me and you are sitting here having a conversation. You know, that all it takes is just having a little bit of communication and a little bit of understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just that, you have to be open-minded because it's being pushed in your face so much. Like it or not.
Like the saturation like you was talking about it. Yeah, no.
Like it or not.
Yeah.
It's being pushed. Like it or not. So you have to either move forward and accept it or live in a cocoon and live backwards.
And don't be scared. I mean, my thing is just live your life, man. I feel like people are going to turn out the way they're going to turn out regardless, man. You know what I'm saying?
Look at, like my mother used to say, don't spit up because that spit comes right back down.
Don't spit up because that spit comes right back down. Lessons from his mom. Everyone, thank you so much,
thank
Mr.
you.
Antonio Santana.
It's been a pleasure.
Here on the Angel of Words podcast. Everybody, don't forget to share. Click on the notification bell on YouTube so you can get your notifications for when the episode airs. Also, everyone, check us out on all podcast platforms, not just YouTube. You could also see our exclusive content at AOWENT.com. If you want to see my shenanigans on social media, go to @AngelOfWordsENT, all one word, and donations are at Cash App, AOWNYC. Thank you for tuning in, everyone, and we will talk to you later. Be well.
Bye.